Hello and welcome to this video tutorial from the Casablanca Expert. My name is Chet Davis, also known as the Casablanca Expert. Today's topic for this quick tip, adding underline to titles. There was a recent post on the Cassie tips list where folks asked, hey, how can I add an underline to my titles in the Casablanca video editor? This particular topic pertains to both the Bogart OS and the SmartEdit operating system. What I'm going to show you today can be done on either or both systems. Now, there is no really easy way in the titler, unfortunately. There is no underline function. We do have the ability to italicize the fonts, to modify their position on the line size, the character space. There's a lot we can do, but there is no easy, simple underline. There are two different ways to do it, and I'm going to show you both today. These were developed on our Monday morning meeting, otherwise known as the Casablanca Coffee Klatch. Website members are invited to join us each Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time. We get together online, members, about 12 to 20 folks, and just chat about all things Casablanca. And sometimes we come up with questions or problems or issues and solutions. So here's two of them. So we're looking at the scene bin of my S4000 Pro, but again, this could be your Renome, this could be your Solitaire, this could be your S6000. Pretty much any of the systems have the ability to do what we want to do. So what I wanted to show you is, again, we want to go into the titler, and let's say we want to add an underline to this lower thirds title on this esteemed, attractive-looking gentleman. And again, in the regular titler, there is not the ability to add an underline, at least not simply and easily. There's two different methods. Now, one of our colleagues, Bobby Evoy, came up with this one, and the group that was online thought this was better. Later on, I'm going to show you a separate video where I use the symbol function down here and the box options to do it right in the same screen. But everybody thought this one looked better, so we're going to go ahead and do this. Now, part of the trick is, well, let me come back here and show you how we do that. What we're going to do is we're going to come over here. You can do it in image processing, or you can do it in the edit bin. Okay. Now, if we do it in the edit bin to this particular shot, let's find this scene. So I click on the search button, and the scene is highlighted in my scene bin. I come down here, I left click on special, and scroll down to rectangle. And rectangle is one of the effects in your special bin if you have it's part of the regular operating system. So Bogart SE and SmartEdit SE, it's nice that the rectangle function is not an add-on. You don't have to purchase this extra. Now the color, you want this color to be the color of your underline. So if your letters are green or red, you may want them to be green or red or blue. But I'm going to have white letters on my background, so I'm going to have a white rectangle, a white line. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make a rectangle, but it's going to be a very thin rectangle, which will become a straight line. So the next thing we do after we select the color is left click on position and size, and you can see this is already up here from getting this ready. And what you want to do is normally the box will look something like this. Okay, that's your rectangle normally. So what we want to do is left click on the size button and squeeze it up. You want to go left and right till it's just about the right size you want, okay? And you get it there, and then once it's the size, then we're going to go ahead and position it. Now, the trick here as I was getting ready for this is you pretty much want your title done first, so you know how wide and exactly where you want to position this straight line. So that's kind of the, which came first, the chicken or the egg, or the cart before the horse kind of thing. And if I click OK, if I go to full size, you can see there's our straight line now. So if we wanted to modify that, we click on position and size. We can make it narrower, less wide, and then we can reposition that, and when we left click OK, you see that we have a straight line once again. Now, probably this is probably the best way to do that, okay? So if you really wanted to do the perfect job with this, okay, here's the trick, and it's a multiple step process. What I would do is I would go ahead and in the titler, I would go ahead and create the title exactly where I want it. Okay. Then you might want to archive that. Okay. You could archive and save that title. Just put, Chet Davis lower third. what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and render that. Okay, I'm going to drop it down in the scene bin, effects plus scene. And if we wanted that to be very short, I'm running that title the full 18 seconds, which I wouldn't normally do. Okay. Now that's down in our scene bin. Why I did that, see I have it down here in the scene bin now, so when we go ahead and play that back, it's got the title superimposed on there. Why I did that is it lets me perfectly position the underline beneath it. Okay, so I want it to be just a little bit to the left of the letter C on my first name. And then I'm going to go ahead and click the size and bring it over here. And there we go. Okay, and now if I render that out, okay, you can see, you know, I just would check it not on the small preview, but on the large preview, the full size preview, to make sure it looks just the way you want it. Is it thick enough? Is it in, you know, left to right? Is it the right position? Is it tall enough or wide enough, if you want to say it that way? Is it the right color? And adjust all those functions. Now, a likely question I'm going to get asked is, hey, can we do a drop shadow with it? Well, not easily, and not in the rectangle itself. You could add another black rectangle. You're into multiple steps, and frankly, I don't think you're being paid well enough to do all those steps for this simple task. But it can be done if you really, really wanted it to. Now, if I'm happy with that, what I can do is I can go ahead and click OK and click OK, and it will render that on there. So we've added our underline. Now, if you had a different set of characters, see, there's our finished product. Isn't that cool? So, worked very nicely if you wanted to do that. Now, if you wanted to have that faded in, then you're going through more steps as well. You'd have to take the original scene, take the scene with the effect on it, do a crossfade, get your timing just right. Too much math, too much work for me, frankly. Now, as at the beginning of this tutorial, I mentioned sometime you may want to, you know, position the title and get that bar on there just right before you add your titles. And why that might be necessary is if you have letters, okay, that go below the line of text. In other words, like, there aren't too many of them, are there? So, but see how the letter G goes down below? Okay. There you go. Chet Dogs Davis. So if you had that title, okay, and we wanted to put the rectangle on that, let's go full size here. Oopsie. What I meant to do is, let's do this here so you can see what I'm talking about. The underline is going to be on top of instead of behind. So if you're particular, if this was a really polished job and you want to do the best job you possibly could, let's do this here. Let's just do 1 second at the start. We'll render that out and send it down to the scene bin. You see it to go really quickly here. And so here's Chet Dogs. And if I go full size, okay, now it's going to be okay. But see how the underline is in front of or on top of the G? If you were really particular and wanted to do this just right, what you'd have to do is figure out where the underline goes, lay that down first, and lay the title on top of it. Okay? So you got two choices. One, you hope that you don't have any of the characters like a G, and I'm trying to, the letter P, for example, or the letter Q, where part of the character drops down beneath the baseline, I will call that. Okay? If you don't have that, then don't worry about it. You just got an easy title. If you do, you got to lay the rectangle first, then put the title on top of that. Okay? In the second tutorial, the second video, which there's a link below, and this is for members of my website, I'll show you how to use the symbol. There's a line symbol inside of the titler. You can use the box options to create the specific title effect. If you're not a member today, please consider joining me. It's approximately 35 cents a day, as affordable as $12.99 a month, or a year membership for $120 for 12 months. You'll have access to all these tutorials, more than 700 articles, tips, tutorials, and streaming videos. Casablanca expert Chet Davis saying, thank you for joining me today. Have a great day.